and welcome back. So, it didn't take us long to get to the top, about 5 or 10 minutes. Quite a steep climb though. Amazing views from up here. Let me just swing round. The sun is incredibly bright. Just have a little look behind me though. Amazing views from up here of the terracotta and slate rooftops of Richmond. And then just up in the distance, just up there next to that evergreen, you can see the tall tower of Richmond Castle, which is where we're heading later. But I have no idea what this building is. But look at that, isn't it beautiful? Doesn't it sit beautiful against the blue sky? But there's nothing really up here to give me any indication. Normally with buildings like this you would expect to see English heritage or national heritage sign telling us all about it, a bit of history as to who built it, who lived here, what purpose it serves. But there's nothing up here, nothing at all. So if you can shed any light on what this beautiful building is just up behind me here, if you have any idea who built it, what purpose it serves or served, then I'd be really interested to know. But there's no driveway, it's fenced off. You can't get any nearer than I am at the moment to it. There seems to be a beehive or some sort of composting bin perhaps, but apart from that it's just a beautiful old building occupying a beautiful and prominent position overlooking the market town of Richmond and the River Swale, which is just down behind me, just down in the valley down there. You can't see it because it is deep in the valley and we're heading down there now. So let's have a little wander and I'll share some of the scenery with you as we head back down the path that we came up. So, what's going on Facebook, YouTube, what's going on? Does anyone know what's going on? I don't know. I have no idea what's going on at the moment, apart from the fact that it's all a bit of a mess, isn't it, to be honest? It's all a bit of a mess. So just behind me, just here, this is the path that I came up. This is the way we're heading back down. So hang with me while we make the descent back down to the green, and then we're going to go and check out the River Swale. We're going to have a walk along the banks of the River Swale. It's January 2021. We've had some heavy rain in Yorkshire. In fact, we've had weeks and weeks of heavy rain, followed by 3 or 4 days of snow. And if you put those two things together, heavy rain and lots of snow, once the snow starts to thaw, the main rivers around where I live, the River Swale and the River Ure, those rivers gush and quite often spill their banks or break their banks. And the River Swale, as it runs through the market town of Richmond, can be quite spectacular. Quite often you'll see huge fallen trees canoeing down the river towards the waterfall. These are trees that would take some heavy lifting gear to move. Naturally fallen by the wind and then eventually washed downstream towards Richmond. Let me just stop and give you a little 360 pano of where I am today. So Richmond Castle, just up there, that's where we're going later. This beautiful little open space. I'm the only person here as well. Shame really, but in a way it's quite nice. And then the unknown folly up on the hill, which I still don't know what it is. If I do find out what it is, I'll let you know. So we're heading on down to the River Swale. It's one of my favourite rivers around here. It's dramatic. It meanders. The source of the Swale is up high in Swaledale. Just starts as a trickle, a ground source, a spring, turning into a bubbling beck, turning into a stream, turning into a gushing river of immense force. It's regarded as one of the best rivers for salmon and I believe trout fishing as well. Any river with a strong current is going to attract salmon. Just make sure that we leave this tied up. Always take note of the signs as well, no dogs. Which would suggest that they possibly graze cattle or sheep on there. So this was the entrance to the folly, or the hill that allowed us to get up to the folly. Stone wall to one side. The backs of these beautiful stone houses here as well. And we're just going to go through this gate. Back to the green, which is where we started our tour today. There you go. So if you fancy checking out the folly, the strange folly on the hill, head for the green in Richmond and then you walk through these gates just behind me here. Make sure you close them afterwards though. So we're going to have a little wander just down this beautiful street. All sorts of houses. No two houses the same. Look at that lovely little courtyard in there. Isn't that lovely? The old brewery guest house again, no vacancies, what a shame. Look at this, there would have obviously been a doorway or some sort of archway into the building. Just behind me there you can see where the red brick has been not so sympathetically used to block that up. Surely they could have found some stone from somewhere. So we're going into a little courtyard now. This is nice place to live. Lovely houses. Mews houses, if you want to know. And then just behind me here, behind this little low stone wall, which I'll show you in a minute, you'll be able to get your first glimpse of the River Swale. There it is, just behind me there. So we're heading on down that way though, towards the castle. And there's a footpath that runs along the edge of the swale at the foot of the mount where the castle is positioned. So that's the way we're heading. When we get down there, I'll show you the waterfalls where the fallen trees usually end up. I guarantee there'll be loads of people there. So let's get going. We need to keep on the move today because it's cold. Hat, thermal gloves. Once again, Geographical Norway jacket, my favourite jacket. It's amazing what you see when you leave the car behind and take to foot. Amazing what you see. What beautiful little row of houses. Just have a look at that. Aren't they sweet? How about living there? So, I'm going to sign off now guys, and I'll be back in a little while because we're about to cross the road. I'm enjoying myself so far, and I want to make sure that I continue to enjoy myself through to the end of this video tour. So, I'm going to say farewell right outside the aptly named Riverside Cottage. Isn't that lovely? So, I'll see you all in a short while once we've found a few more interesting things to talk about and show you. See you soon.